Hi guys, it's Teresa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my huge fall TBR. If you watched my summer TBR, you will know that I've changed the system of how I want to do TBRs. Basically, I do seasonal TBRs for 3 months at a time. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the books I'm planning on reading in the months of September, October, and November. To succeed at my Goodreads challenge, I would have to read at least 10 books every single month. So I choose 5 books for each of those months that I put on like a somewhat set TBR. I will try to read these, give it my all, and hopefully by doing it spread out over 3 months and only picking like 5 books that I technically have to read of those TBR books every single month, I'm trying to make the TBR system work better for my personal reading tastes and like how I choose my next books, and in the end not make me fail so much at TBRs in general. At least that's the idea. So today I'm going to show you 15 books that I'm planning to read this fall. Let's get into it. The first book I'm probably going to try to read at the very beginning of September, and that is What a Crawdad Sing by Delia Owens. This book is set in the 1960s in a small town in North Carolina that is haunted by rumors of a so-called marsh girl that is supposed to be living in the surrounding marshes. And then when one young man goes missing, they immediately suspect her, but she's actually not what she seems. I am really excited. This premise sounds super exciting, and I'm even more excited because I'm actually going to be buddy reading this with my friend Murphy over on Murphy Napier's channel. I'm gonna link it in the description. I love her videos and she's so sweet. I'm so excited to be reading this with her and like discussing it. I always get so much more out of books when I buddy read them because obviously like discussing them forces you as well to like reflect more on your own opinion, and it changes too in the conversation. So I'm just really excited, and I hope we both enjoy this book. Next, I want to try to read The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This book has been around for a few years now and I've still never reached for it, so I want to try to make it happen this year. I think it's a retelling of a Russian fairy tale that's very atmospheric and kind of like a slow story, but those are the types of stories that I tend to really enjoy, and I'm also really excited in the Russian cultural and like historical, regional aspects, anything like that. So I hope I enjoy it, and I think it's going to be a nice read for like the colder days, so it's probably going to happen towards the end of fall. But I'm definitely going to try to get to this very soon. Another book I want to read is Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Danler. I think this is actually more of a summer read, at least that's how I hear it talked about most often, but I'm pretty sure the early fall isn't going to be that cold yet, so I think I can make it work. This follows a young woman who gets a job at a fancy restaurant in New York, and her life and like the things that she gets up to. I've heard great things about it and I'm very excited to finally read it. It seems very short. I think it's only about just 300 pages and seems like a quick read, so I hope I enjoy it. And it seems to also be have been turned into a series. Also cool, might watch that as well. For the next book, I actually wasn't sure if I was gonna still maybe read this in August, but I think it won't happen, so I'm just gonna put it into fall, most likely September. That is The Vanishing Star by Maureen Johnson. It's the sequel to Truly Devious, a book I just read like last week and absolutely loved. I think it was fantastic. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know if my wrap-up is up yet, but if it is, you should check it out. I really enjoyed it, so I immediately had to buy the sequel. It ended on a cliffhanger. I loved it. It's basically a YA mystery set at a private boarding school that had a history with like murders and kidnappings and creepy things happening, and the main character is very interested in detective stories and being a detective most importantly, and she kind of starts to uncover some other mysteries that are happening in the present as well. So I think it's really well written, and I have high hopes for The Vanishing Star as well. On the note of books, I think I'm going to be finishing very soon. I'm currently listening to the audiobook of Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, and I'm probably not going to be able to finish it in August, so I'm also putting this on my TBR for the fall. I'm currently about 6 hours in, and I think it's like, or 7 hours in, and it's a 24-hour audiobook, so it's gonna take me a while still, considering I don't get that much time to listen to audiobooks. But I'm enjoying it. It's long-winded, to be honest, and Steve Jobs is a complete asshole. I mean, it's hilarious to read or hear some of his like the weird anecdotes, like things that he got up to, but as a human being, No, I'm not his biggest fan. Next, I also want to read Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This book is so beloved here on BookTube. I've heard people talk about it so much, and I really want to check it out. I think this book is set in like suburbia, and we follow different families, different people, and the issues they face. At least that's what I hear about it usually. I don't know much more than that, but I'm very excited to find out for myself. Oh, I love this. It looks so good. I also want to read, finally, Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel. This is the sequel to Sleeping Giants, and I've been meaning to read this for a while, but I don't think that the third book is out in the small paperback yet, and I wanted to hold off a little while, but I don't think I can wait much longer. I just recently talked about Sleeping Giants again in my Better Versions of Shit Books recommendations video. You should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And just by talking about it and like thinking back to this book, I really want to know how the story continues, so I think it's finally time to delve into the second book. And these are usually, the first one was a quick read, so I'm assuming the second one is going to be one too, and I'm going to try to just make these TBRs a little bit easier on myself. I think in the summer I purposefully put some books on there that I was going to challenge myself to read, but actually then never read. So I think this is going to be an easy pick, and I should be definitely able to get to it. I also really want to read Mortal Heart by Robin Lefevre. This is the third book in the His Fair Assassin trilogy, and I kind of missed the train on completing the series this summer, or like spring actually, when I read the first two books, because this one took a little bit too long to get here, and then I was already in another mood again and never really got back to the fantasy thing since then. But I really want to finish this trilogy this year, so I have to read it. I mean, I might also read it in December if it doesn't happen. I'm just gonna put it on the next TBR, the next seasonal TBR, but I really want to read this book this year. I really enjoyed this series. It's historical fiction fantasy, essentially. It's set in the 1400s in France, or like what used to be. It used to be an independent duchess called Brittany, and we follow assassin nuns that have a relationship to death because they're his daughters, basically. They're the daughters of death, and they get up to a lot of cool stuff. And actually the politics in this series are pretty accurate as far as I know. I've read some stuff about it. It seems to be pretty closely modeled after what actually happened, which I think is really exciting, because this series basically claims that these fictional characters were involved in the political events that actually happen in our world. And I don't know, I just think that's a great setup for a story, and the first two books I really enjoyed, so I have high hopes for the third one as well. Another book I really want to read is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I tried reading this book a few months ago and had to temporarily DNF it. It was in part the fault of the book because it's very slow paced, but also it's set in very cold temperatures, like in the middle of winter. There's snow and ice and everything everywhere, and it's very atmospheric, so you feel like you're there, and it kind of didn't work to read this book in the summer. So I'm gonna give it another try in the fall, in the colder months. I hope I enjoyed. I probably won't enjoy it as much as Uprooted. I can already tell that much, because if it were as good as Uprooted, I probably would never have even temporarily DNF'd it. But still, I hope I still enjoy it. Another trilogy I want to read is actually the entire Nevernight trilogy by J. Kristoff. I don't have Dark Dawn yet. I don't think it's actually out yet, but I have pre-ordered it. So once it's here, I want to marathon binge read this entire trilogy. I have read Nevernight before, but so far have refrained from reading God's Grave because I didn't want to have a huge book hangover, and I knew I was probably gonna get one. So I think it makes sense to read them all again. I actually, if you for some reason saw my Nevernight reading vlog, I think that was back in 2017, I literally read the book in a day and a night or something, and then I put it down and instantly forgot everything. The only thing I remembered is how much I loved it, but I have very few recollections of the actual story. I have pictures in my head of certain scenes that I vividly was able to picture, but other than that, I have no clue what this book is about anymore. It's crazy, I know, my brain works in mysterious ways. Or it doesn't. But I can't wait to get back into the series and finally conclude it. I'm gonna do a reading vlog for that, so look out for that. But I'm very excited, and I hope, oh my god, I actually can't wait. I hope I'm gonna be in a huge fantasy mood sometime in the next few months to actually make this happen, because oh my god, it's gonna be epic. In the spirit of finishing series, I also want to read Us Against Them by Frederick Backman. This is the first book. It's called Beartown, and the sequel is, oh no, it's not Us Against Them, it's Us Against You. I'm sorry. Us Against You. That's the book I want to read. It's a sequel to Beartown. I read this in July and I really enjoyed it. It's wonderful. It's very, very, very well written. The language in the book is phenomenal. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do. But yeah, despite the fact that I'm not at all interested in sports, really, especially not in hockey, I have absolutely no connection to it. I really got invested into this world, into these characters, into this small town, and now I really want to know how their story continues. So hopefully I also get to do that very soon. I always say this, I know. It's gonna be at some point in the next 3 months. Lastly, I'd also love to read A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, a YA one. It could be garbage or it could be good. I don't know yet. As you can see, there's a bookmark in it. I think I read what did I read? 2 chapters, which amounts to 9 pages, so I have no idea. It definitely throws you in a little bit at the deep end, I can tell you that, but I'm gonna check it out, and let's be honest, there's probably gonna be a video about it, so look out for that as well. And then lastly, I want to read An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This actually, oddly enough, reminds me of Sleeping Giants in some weird way. I don't even know, I haven't read it yet, but it does. Why? Who knows? But it's also about aliens. It follows a young girl called April who sees an alien, I think, and she makes a video of him and puts it on YouTube, and it skyrockets her to YouTube and internet fame and popularity. And coming from Hank Green, I'm assuming the descriptions and the portrayal of YouTube and what it means to be a YouTuber are pretty accurate, and I'm very excited to read it. Can't wait, actually. It's gonna be awesome. And yeah, that is it for my fall TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of any of these books and what you're planning to read in the upcoming months. I hope you guys are having a lovely week, and I will see you very soon with another video. Until then, have a lovely week. I just said that. Oh well. Bye!